Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dual Screens Crossplay Podcast, a very special episode for you this week, February 9th, 2022. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, he's over there. He's Andy Asimakis. How you doing, buddy?
Oh my God, Steven, this is like return of the Nintendo dual screens.
I know.
It's a full-blown Nintendo-centric show. Everyone got theirs this year. We got Xbox show, we got a Sony show, and now we're doing a Nintendo show.
We got the Xbox show where everyone accused us of making it a PlayStation show. Then we did a PlayStation show. And now we're doing a Nintendo show.
How
but yes,
do we make this like PlayStation?
Yes, we're gonna bring it all back around to PlayStation. Anyway, folks, we're gonna do something very interesting for you. We are gonna be doing what we've been playing, the Adventures in Gaming portion of this show, and then we are going to cut to our thoughts on the Nintendo Direct. But Andy, you and I, neither of us have watched the Nintendo Direct.
Yes, not even that. I've heard not a peep, not a headline, not a snippet, not a trailer,
nothing.
Because I was going home from work, and then you proposed the idea of watching it for the first time. I was like, "Oh shit, that happened! That's happening right now."
Yeah, it was happening right before I left work. So
that's what we'll do. So screw it.
So yeah, so folks, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the watch along. It'll go up on YouTube. So you can, if you're watching the show on YouTube, it's not going to get cut. You're going to get the whole video. It's going to be us doing the react. But the audio version of the podcast, you're just going to get the before that segment, and then after the segment, end of the show, and then the bonus audio will go up on our Patreon.com. But ladies and gentlemen, what the hell are you listening to? I'll tell you what you're listening to. It's the Dual Screens Crossplay Podcast, the internet's #1 gaming news podcast, hosted by two people you've never heard of, probably. The show posts each and every week for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, including our home, Podbean, and it is in video form live. That's right, you can watch us live on twitch.tv/dual screens streams.
There it is.
And later as a video on demand on youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. That's right, 24 hours later, this will go up as a video on demand version of the show, which you could watch straight away on the YouTube. And guys, if you want to support us with your hard-earned cash dollar bills, it's so easy. You go to patreon.com/NDS podcast, just like our Patreon producers, Colton the Apprentice Nestler and FNH Paul. We cannot continue to grow without all of your support, so thank you so very much for doing that. We have rewards for all different tiers, and we're actually about to revamp and make things a little bit easier for us to churn out now that the team is growing. So expect a lot of bonus content to go up in the next 3 weeks, a ton of it. So look forward to that. All right, Andy, it's now time to get into our show and everybody's favorite current Dual Screens t-shirt. The Adventures in Gaming. Andy, how's Sifu?
Steven, I'm not an advocate for violence.
You're not? Okay.
In fact, I think people should use words. People should use words to, discuss their differences and to diffuse situations.
Sure.
You should never resort to throwing fists.
Right.
But Sifu is a game that makes you want to go out and beat someone up.
Okay.
I wanted to fight someone. It was like after watching Fight Club for the first time, you want to get into that. That's what it does.
See, I was gonna say it was like when I went to go see Three Ninjas as a kid.
Oh my god!
And then I walked out.
You want to be a ninja?
I walked out of that movie theater ready to punch anybody on the street. I was ready for it. I was ready to do it.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like the side-scrolly beat 'em up genre.
Yeah.
Like had a glow up big time, and it evolved this beautiful, amazing Pokemon, and it's in its now perfect state.
Yeah,
it's. I think so far, it's my game of the year.
Interesting.
It's only early February. Yeah. I know, but
I think
it's definitely a contender
so far. So
it's definitely an early contender.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a huge fan of Absolver either when that first came out.
Okay.
Like 5-ish years ago. But I think Slow Clap has mastered the whole like hand-to-hand combat. It's so silky smooth when you get it down and you master like the dodging, the parrying, when to punch. And as a roguelike, it is beyond cool. The whole like when you die, you age, and then there's a death counter. So if you like die twice in a row, you age 2 times, and if you die 3 times, you age 3 years. There's a lot of mechanics, and it's a lot of information when you first play, and you'll suck a lot in the beginning. But it's really cool, dude. It's so fucking addictive. I am at the last boss right now, and it is a pain. Like the game isn't like compared to like a Returnal, which really kicked my ass for many nights.
Right.
And that was like frustratingly difficult, where because that in that game you lose a lot of progress when you die.
Lose
like,
everything.
Yeah, when you're so deep in the game.
Right.
At least it's a little bit more.
You get more
manageable.
permanent upgrades and stuff like
there's
that.
And your progression in levels is kind of saved, but your age is also saved. So if you suck and beat a level, you're stuck at that age unless you go back and replay it again. So it's a little more lenient, but it's just that combat is just so visceral. It's so snappy and tight. Right. And there's almost no story. There's very little soundtrack, very minimalist, but stunning art style. And it's all in that combat. It's like so freaking good, that combat.
It looks like they kind of made a corridor beat 'em up, but they made it in a 3D way where you can kind of move anywhere. It's almost like the promise of the 3D beat 'em up, what it could have been back in the PS2 era or PS1 era, or PS2 era when those started to really come around, but didn't really click.
Right.
This seems to like kind of really turn that page and finally say, no, we can do this, and we could do it seriously, and it could be challenging and rewarding. I would love to see something like this evolve into like a multiplayer scenario or something that really like hones in on the just teaming up, doing cool like little martial arts combos and stuff. Because I've watched a lot of this game. I have not played it, but I watched a lot, and I read your review on dualscreens.com, and it was
gold thumbs up, by the way.
Yeah. To me, I want to play, like, it's something that I want to give a try to, because I'm better at melee combat. I'm better at difficult melee combat games than I am difficult shooters. So I think I would fit a little bit better with this style of game more so than I did Returnal or even Bite the Bullet, which was a little roguelike, but
there isn't like because it's not a bullet hell on top of a roguelike. It's more controlled circumstances. Like it's just you and some enemies, and there's the environment you can also take into effect. So it's definitely way more control in your hands to what's happening coming at you, as opposed to I gotta dodge 1,000 bullets while slashing and shooting and running and secondary fire. None of that's here. So I think this would click more with you, definitely, and I would give it a shot for sure.
What I am worried about is it gave me it reminded me a little bit of Ninja Gaiden Black.
Oh,
of that kind of.
That was a hard game.
That was a very hard game.
That game was a pain.
And that game had progression, that didn't go away. So I wonder, like, it just
and health potions and shit like that.
Yeah, like, well, you can get your health back. I've seen you get your health back.
Yeah, you do Sifu. Takedowns. Yeah. Do takedowns. Is there a fly buzzing around your room?
Kids are knocking on the wall. They're like doing stuff with their toys probably next door while they're
I mean, you can do takedowns, and also you can pour experience points to getting more health back from takedowns. So there's ways to get your health back, but it's all about how well you're playing the game.
Yeah, and I've seen you guys in our Discord, which folks you could join, patreon.com/NDS podcast for just $1. I've seen you discussing like how old you are when you finish the first level. Like, oh, I got all the way up to the end at only 35 years old. And I was watching somebody play today, friend of the show, Buzz Killington, who was like, he made it through the first level at 21, which is basically only dying once.
He died one time, yeah.
And then he died 30 times in level 2.
I'm telling you, man. Like
he was in
when
his
you
50s. He was like 56.
listen,
when he
listen.
finished level 2.
When I first played the game, and I was like, I think 65 when I beat the first level.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way I'm gonna beat this game ever. I can't make it past the first boss without losing like half my continues. Basically, this is what those things are when you think about it. But then when you pick up more moves and you're getting more into the mechanics, you're like, let me go back to the first level. Let me try it again. And then it's like, shit, now I'm down to 30, age 30. Cool. Let me try it again. No deaths at all. So once it clicks, it happens really fast. And that's the magic of it. Yeah.
For some, it happens very fast. For others, I've seen play the game, it does not happen. For some reviewers who have reviewed the game and gave it a 4 out of 10,
right,
gave up on it a little too quickly. I've had people say that they gave up immediately because they couldn't turn the difficulty down and
that's
stuff like that.
That's a little upsetting because I feel once you break through the initial, it's a steep learning curve because there's a very brief and almost useless tutorial that doesn't show you much of what the game can really do. It's like, yeah, you parry here, here's how you dodge like an up swipe and a sweep attack and whatever. It's all very short and it's hard to retain because you learn by actually fighting enemies in real time.
Yeah.
So once you get past the steep learning curve, it's all about rhythm and timing and watching enemies closely. And okay, when should I dodge? When should I parry? When should I just, go look for a bat in the corner? Shit like that.
When should I chuck bottles at faces?
Right. Oh, so good. So good. So and then when the DualSense goes like, it's like, oh God, yes. So once you get past all that crap, and it doesn't last long. Like, again, it's a small commitment to see how the game works, what its systems are, and then it feels natural. And you'll dodge with ease, and you'll like the badassery comes through like 100%.
Yeah. I definitely want to get my hands on it, at least maybe try it out, see if I like it.
Also, Steven.
Yes.
I'll announce right now on the show.
Right now on the show.
Future guest of the podcast.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
we were told that, listen, it's launch. Let the game come out. I'm like, I'm fine with that. Let him come on after. So I can be like, why did you make this game that made me mad and happy at the same time?
Sifu is like marriage,
Just it is
making you angry and also blissfully.
What are you playing these days?
I'm still playing Pokemon a lot.
Yes, you are.
I've been playing that a lot. I really like that game. That game is just, the more I play it, the more I think like this is where Pokemon should go. Just because it has such a great foundation and does so many things that are just really, really fun. I would really like to see what happens if they expand on this and in a couple of years come out with something that's a little bit more involved, that has a little bit more depth to it. Not that this doesn't have depth, it does, but like battling is very, very much like the D thread on all of this. It's not about battling. It's not about training your Pokemon. It's about learning about Pokemon by exploring and catching them and seeing them do different things in the environment. It's kind of like a combination of like Pokemon Snap in that way, where you have like these little things that you have to do. Oh, watch it do this. Like combat is more for research. It's less for winning championships. It's not about winning championships at all, because there's no
at all.
They've never battled with Pokemon before in this universe, so it's basically, you're learning how human beings started to coexist with Pokemon. And it's just a really cool origin. It's an alternate origin story. It's not as far as what I know, I haven't beaten it yet, but I'm purposefully not beating it at this moment. My next stream, I'm going to beat it. But right now I'm just kind of catching things and doing researches and looking for shinies and stuff. And it's just so much fun being out in the world and seeing these Pokemon and I wish that I spoke about the game a little bit last week, but like the things I wish there were like Pokemon dens, where instead of just a group of this Pokemon in the wild just kind of walking around, like maybe there's you could see a nest of something,
Mm-hmm.
and you could see like them spawning out of the nest or running to the nest or whatever, or and in other things like maybe seeing Pokemon interacting with each other. Like if a Stantler comes close to a Buizel, like what would happen? What would the two of them do? Are they territorial? Are they gonna like fight over territory? Can you get caught in the crossfire? Can you help a Buizel defend its nest because something is attacking its nest, and then you get something in return from the Buizel? You know what I mean? Like, I would like to see them expand more on that aspect of wildlife. Since it is about wildlife, it's almost like you're like a safari zone, whatever, a safari hunter, but you're not really hunting, you're just catching them to like learn about them. I would like to see a little bit more of those mechanics in there. And then of course you could also expand on the whole battling thing by having like the creation of a Pokemon League. So like the next game could talk about how these people come together and specialize in, say, bird Pokemon, and then they say, okay, if anybody could beat my bird Pokemon, I'll give you this shiny medal. And then they say, wait a minute, we could do this. You know what I mean? Like just something that pulls things into that world a little bit more. I think would be cool for a sequel as well. I would also like to see some more survival elements, less Breath of the Wild hunger and you know, weather related, but more just building, like having a home that you could build, or a town that you have more dark cloudy responsibilities in building,
right,
as opposed to it just growing as you're exploring the storyline. Those are the things I would like to see with it, but I'm absolutely having a blast. But the one thing that this game does, the one thing that this game says to me is that I think Nintendo is making a big mistake not investing in more powerful hardware.
Yeah, it's really starting to show like the limitations of the Switch at this point.
The game is ugly.
Right. And, you know, I don't think it's, you know, I think there's two things at play there. It's one part, it's the hardware that's really holding back what this game could potentially do with, you know, better specs. But I think it's also the fact that, you know, this game looks more hideous than Breath of the Wild does. A Wii U / Switch launch game looks better than it
has a lot more going on.
A now Pokemon game. I think the idea is that Nintendo likely knows that this sold 7 million copies in like 4 days, like a week. Yeah. And you know, it's a lot of that it's children, you know, that's what it is, you know, right. And big kids like us who also buy the game, but a lot of it's kids, and young kids don't care about a graphically superior looking game. They want it's Pokemon.
The only reason why I want to cut you off here, and I don't mean to, is because I'm not necessarily talking graphically. The game is ugly in many different ways. and I know this counts as sort of graphically, but like for example, draw distance. You can't see some wild Pokemon.
There's a lot of popping.
There's a ton of popping, but also in a game that's about you looking for special Pokemon,
right?
Some of the Pokemon in the background will literally be a GIF. It will not be animated. It will be like wing up and then wing down, wing up and then wing down, like just like pictures. Because the animation is stop motion. It is. Yeah. It is. You know, I'm talking about that. I'm talking about like this game is supposed to be this seamless world, right? But you're constantly being hit with either slow down, depending on if you're going into like one of the time rift zones. You get hit with ridiculously long load scenes for what happens. Like when you finish a mission and you're going back into the town, like you could be waiting anywhere between 15 and 20 seconds sometimes. And it's like, why are we doing this? There are a million cutscenes and not one single syllable of dialogue being, you know, audible. It's all just Pokemon noises, music, and then just reading text. And I feel like if you are aiming your game at kids, like stop, you know, put voiceover. Like if we're being serious, like if you want to market this to a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, you know, have some voice acting in there. But
yeah, it's definitely stuck in time in a lot of mechanics wise. Like I feel they do a lot of the bare minimum when it comes to stuff like this, which is, it's unfortunate, but again, the sales are everything. So
yeah,
you say to your team, listen, this sold 7 million copies in a week. Do we like double the budget for next game? No, we can just reskin this and do like Pokemon Giratina Legends, whatever the hell, for part 2.
yeah,
A year from now or later this year or whatever. And then it'll sell just as many, if not more copies.
Yeah.
To the same people.
Well, speaking of more money, it is now time to see how Nintendo is going to make the rest of their money in the short term here. Folks, we are going to segue now to our watch along of the Nintendo Direct from earlier today. And if you're an audio listener, you are going to get transitioned to the end of the show where we're going to talk about our thoughts on the Nintendo Direct. But if you're watching on YouTube, we're going to segue right into this bad boy. So don't go anywhere. And transition. And we are back, transitioned to our thoughts on the Nintendo Direct. Andy, my good boy.
Oh boy, Steven.
We got a smattering of good and a whole lot of mediocrity.
Old shit.
Old shit is old.
Old shit is old.
I don't know, man.
So my initial feedback is too many ports, too many remakes. Or sorry, remasters.
Yeah.
All the stuff on the first party side looked great. Kirby looked amazing. I love the Mario Soccer shit. Splatoon looked good.
We used the Wii. I'm sorry, the sports. The Nintendo Switch Sports was like
the Wii Sports looked amazing.
It looked good, but again, I cannot get over the fact that two of the 3 new sports were derivatives of one of the sports that's already in there.
We got Fire Emblem Muso. And we got Xenoblade Chronicles 3. A lot of good shit on the first party, like Nintendo only in-house made stuff. Advance Wars was there, so a lot of good beefy stuff that they're working on that we all know and love. But really heavy on old shit that I don't care about. Assassin's Creed, Kingdom Hearts. Okay, I get it. I get why it's there.
Andy,
I'm not thrilled with the Mario Kart 8 shit.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a minute?
I really think. I know we're gonna get Mario Kart 9 at some point.
It's literally my job to listen to you.
I know it's gonna happen at some point, but I feel this stuff just kicks it down the road.
Yeah,
a little bit further. Like
correct.
I'm sure Mario Kart 9, if it should have been out by now. I feel, or at least we're making it.
Mario Kart 9 is not happening until the new Nintendo thing is out.
Yeah, I'll buy that. I think they'll push it towards as a launch for the next big Nintendo, like Switch Part 2.
If that
situation.
If they do that.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. 48 new courses, remade, remastered courses throughout the history of Mario Kart video games. 48 of them are coming through over the course of the year in 6 different DLC packs. You could get all of them for $25. $25. I
don't care.
No. I mean, listen. I have Mario Kart. I care. Mario Kart is a game that, like, if your main system is Nintendo, it is one of the games you probably play every day. And it is a tentpole franchise for them. This is what I feel like happened. Hey guys, should we make a new Mario Kart? What should it be? And then they had a big whiteboard and they were like, what if Mario Kart was just Mario Kart and we just kept updating it with courses? I love that idea. We already sold 22 million
of this old
game. What if we just add to that and charge them for it? We know we're guaranteed to get like 20 million people to buy
Right.
the DLC for $25. And they're like, great, game is service. And now Mario, remember, the 8 is an infinity sign.
You cracked the code.
The
you
8
cracked
is
the
turned.
codes.
It's an infinity loopy guy.
Endless Mario Kart courses.
This is Mario Kart. This is what Mario Kart is now, Andy.
So it is 9, is what you're saying.
This is it. There is no 9. 9 is not happening. It's going to be this. And then when the next system comes out, it's just going to be Mario Kart. And that 8 is just going to tilt a little bit more sideways. So it's just infinity. And you're going to get all these courses. And then they'll do new courses for the new release of the new thing.
Right.
Or they'll add like double dash mechanics where you and your buddy can like ride on the same cart.
Just give me fucking Kirby. That's all I want.
Kirby looked good.
Kirby was my main takeaway from that entire 40-minute presentation. Kirby is
fun.
life. Kirby is my heart and soul. It is the most Nintendo
is that your
thing.
Game of? Yeah. Is that your game of the presentation?
Yeah, man. Kirby is the shit.
You heard it here first.
Kirby is, I think, he's the most pure IP that Nintendo owns, because Mario does like a lot of other shit.
Yeah.
Kirby tried to do things like, I think he did a pinball game once and a kart racer with Kirby's Air Ride.
I don't understand that.
But for the most part, Kirby is in his most pure state. Like, he's an action adventure game, sucking up bad guys, gobbling them down, taking their powers, and fighting giant penguins. That's what he does.
Do you think there's like a rivalry between the teams that make Kirby and the teams that make Mario, and they're just like, Mario just copied our Kirby thing with the hat. Let's just do it better.
We'll just do what they did,
but
more fun.
Yeah.
Like Kirby can become a car and a vending machine and a blob of water and a street cone.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah. I feel like,
but yeah.
You know, I was kind of hoping that this was going to be a Kirby Katamari thing, where like you just got to suck up the entire universe.
He's rolling around
and sucking it up, just like just becoming the world. And then by the end of it, you just got to be like, just eat the earth, just cover your mouth on the earth.
Swallow it all.
Yeah, just swallow it all. What would happen? What would he become in that point?
I don't know. He becomes all of us at that point.
He does become all of us. So
scary thought.
There was nothing. I'm just gonna go out and say it, and I don't want to come off as a negative Nancy. I feel like there was really no reason to really put this together as a direct at this time. Is that fair to say? Because like, I feel like there was nothing close enough. Like there were a couple of things coming out at the end of March, but there was nothing that couldn't have been just a trailer dump or something.
Well, let's look at it this perspective. I think the bulk of all these announcements and games are coming out before or around June of this year.
A lot of it was June. Yeah.
So it's between the now and June window.
Yeah.
There was a few things that were like July. We got that one September one for Xenoblade, which is okay. I think getting all that in one show that you're like, and you were just like casually, hey, there's a show tomorrow, guys, 40 minutes, new games, old games, come check it out. Cool. This is all said and done. And then when we have our E3 season in June, you can focus on your other big shit, your Breath of the Wild 2, possibly, maybe your Metroid Prime 4, your Bayonetta, like the big heavy hitters.
Are they going to do a deeper thing on one of their summer games?
Oh, like that closer look like they do for Smash or for other ones? It may be. I would imagine we'll get like maybe a Splatoon Direct, potentially, or like a Mario Soccer Direct.
I think Splatoon 3 is definitely one that's
but Splatoon that's happening for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I like how if these are the least exciting things you have to show for the year, it's done now, and then you can reserve your big stuff for like the actual big game announcement season, like the summertime, more or less.
Yeah.
So it serves a purpose. I'm excited for a few games. A lot of ports, a lot of remakes. Chrono Cross, I think, was a foregone conclusion at this point. It's nice seeing
that's
it confirmed.
That is upsetting.
It's I hate seeing it the way it was.
That is
like
upsetting.
It's just it looks like a PS1
it
port
looks like
with
a mobile
new font.
It looks like one of the Final Fantasy mobile ports.
The worst of the worst PS1 emulators can play that game, can make that game look better than that did.
Yeah.
So,
but you know what? Looks aren't everything. I know that, but like,
no, it isn't. It isn't. Know. But I can't full screen the game.
Maybe,
what is this like?
Maybe we can. Like... I don't know. Maybe we can.
No, I don't know. In any case, those who have not played Chrono Cross, it's an amazing RPG.
Chrono Cross is criminally underrated.
Super underrated. I mean, Chrono Trigger is king, but Chrono Cross is a very delightful, charming.
I think Chrono Trigger's obviously it has a much better story, but I think its characters kind of push it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it pushes it over the edge.
A lot of this stuff is it has to pass that test. Like, can we sell enough Chrono Cross remake to warrant like a Chrono Cross 2 or a new Chrono Trigger? You know, or like let's throw on Earthbound on the Switch Online and see how many downloads that gets. Can we then get a new Earthbound game? I don't know. But yeah. It's interesting. It was a very fun mix of stuff, but I think very average show altogether.
Listen, man, I'm happy about Strikers. I'm happy about some Mario soccer game. I just lost your audio, Andy. You just disappeared. Something about that just really excites the hell out of me. Was it me? I may hold on. Maybe let me just double check. Nope, my audio works. Oh, you disappeared, came back again. But it's okay. We're gonna kind of say goodbye anyway. So, yeah. Thank you so much for listening, folks. That's going to bring us to the end of the Dual Screens Crossplay podcast while Andy's fixes whatever the hell happened on his microphone. It's all right. I'll just do the outro. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to follow us on social media, we're at dual_screens. I am at Batchild27. Andy is at Pantsky. If you want to join our Facebook group, it's facebook.com/group/DS Podcasts. You could join our conversation over there. Or if you really want to be intimate and sexy with us, you could join our Patreon, patreon.com/NDS Podcast, and get into our super secret VIP Discord group and hang out with us literally every single day. We're in there chatting it up. We're in there doing the thing. Check out our other podcast, the Dual Screens Podcast, where we interview developers of the greatest video games, indie video games out there in the entire planet. And of course, our brand new show, Faction Wars, A New World podcast, which also posts weekly, and that's starring Taylor Allen, aka It's Perjure, and most of the time I am on that show with him as well. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. Thank you to our live gallery here on twitch.tv/dualscreenstreams. We love you, and as always, please be excellent to each other.